I was introduced to Bill Spivey through a young student who was doing an observation in my classroom. He didn't literally introduce me to him. He told me about this Spivey method, and what impressed me so much was his passion for it. I mean, he was seriously passionate about it. He was evangelizing the Spivey method. So I remembered that, and I did some research, went on the internet, looked it up, bought the materials, and eventually I started teaching it. And that was 4 or 5 years ago, and now I've been teaching it for over 3 years, almost 4 years.
Well, if you want your students to be successful writers, you need to give them the tools to do so, and Spivey is just a way for them to feel successful right away, to be motivated about their writing because they see great results, and you will too.
Dr. William Spivey has learned during his 30 years of study that to change the quality of student writing, we must indicate specifically what we want students to do at all levels, the sentence, paragraph, and the whole composition. Next, we must show the students how to accomplish what we want them to do, and then give sufficient practice to incorporate what they learned into their own writing. Finally, we must insist that the students use their new learnings. Practicing specifics is the key to improvement. Recognizing the need for requirements to improve the quality of student writing, Dr. Spivey created Writing Express. Writing Express is organized into 5 strands of instruction: the single sentence, the 3 to 5 sentence narrative sequence, the expository support chunk, the paragraph, and the components of the various narrative descriptive, expository, and persuasive essays. It's important to understand that these strands of instruction are not linear, even though they are presented that way. Many of the lessons flow easily through the multiple strands.
If we're going to expect the quality of student writing to occur, we need to have sort of a dance among these 5 strands. To say, if I'm starting with a full essay, I need then what? To say, am I expanding well? I might go back to strand 1. Is the sequence well done? If not, I might drill on strand 2. In some way, we need to present it. So it's presented in a linear way, and that allows us to drill. But then we're not finished. We always have to continue that dance.
The motivation factor is great. I've noticed when we're doing our stories for Writers Workshop or 3-paragraph essays, they always want to put in Spivey. In fact, in our classroom, I always say you need to Spivey it up a little bit.
The Writing Express DVD series presents the 5 strands of instruction from Dr. Spivey's classroom demonstrations and teacher training sessions. You'll have an opportunity to see how each strand of instruction changes the quality of student writing and builds writing skills through the grade levels and across the curriculum. Resource folders offer access to more in-depth information and practice exercises for each strand.
I've been teaching for 22 years, and I have seen lots of programs come and go, and I never try to get too attached to anything because half of them, or probably more than half of them, go by the wayside. But I think Spivey structures and the Writing Express is enduring, and it is common sense, and it is broken down in such a way that any teacher can do it, and writing can improve if we're using the Spivey structures.
When language arts specialist Melody Highlen saw the program, she quickly realized its value for her teachers.
He had taken what is generally very difficult for students to understand and somehow made it so student-friendly, somehow been able to figure out what made sense to students so that they could take a piece of writing that was very average and take it far and beyond with elaborations quite easily. And almost, this is silly to say, but almost instantaneously take an average piece or even a below average piece of writing to a point of excellence.
Writing Express not only vastly improves the quality of students' writing, it creates measurable results almost immediately.
When they use the Spivey method for the first time, the results are immediate. I mean, I've had kids say, Mr. Schwartz, this is the best sentence I've ever written. And that is after the first day that I've taught it. So a student who normally doesn't like to write because maybe they're struggling with it, maybe it's too much work, they will see an immediate effect, an immediate improvement in their writing.